Kruelty kicks with only stock plugins. Let's go. Alright, for the transient, I've used drum pad. You can open up this preset, take these settings, and I've used a boost for the tick effect, distortion to enhance that effect, remove the low ends to get rid of the low end from the distortion, and add a limiter to tone down that peak a little bit. For the low end, I've used 3 times oscillator. You can apply these settings. I'm working on one oscillator, that's this one. I pitched it down. Then what I did is I made a little bit of a fade, and I put a pitch bend on it to get that effect. And for the FX, I just used a wave shaper. And then with Citrus, I added a clap. You can take the preset, it's called clap, and take these settings. I used a paramedic EQ to boost the shit out of it. And then I used another paramedic EQ to boost it even more. And then I added a fast distortion followed by a wave shaper. And guess what? Another paramedic EQ to get rid of the low end. And then for the tail noise, I've added a Citrus with the preset noise, you don't say. I've added reverb to it. I distorted that reverb with fast distortion. And then after that, I removed the low ends that came with the distortion. After that, I added another paramedic EQ because paramedic EQ usually doesn't filter away the low end that well, so I had to do it again. And then I added a wave shaper for a lot of crunch. And then I added some reverb to the clap sound with reverb 2 and followed by some low end removal with the paramedic EQ. And now for the most important one, the punch sound. I used drum pad. You can take DNB snare 15 as a preset. I used a P controller for reverb sidechaining, followed by a EQ boost on a frequency around 250, 300, followed by another boost, distortion, fast distortion, another paramedic EQ, corrections and a boost, and a limiter, oh, that's really big, to control the peaks a little bit. And finally for the master, I added a wave shaper for some nice distortion, some fruity balancer to crank it up to some nice lufts, and some corrections here, and Maximus, honestly only to boost the high ends a little bit. You can take these settings if you will, and altogether it sounds something like this.